Hello everyone, it's Kaifu here with game 1 in the series between Johnathan and Damien. With Johnathan on the left side is playing Pricia, while on the right side we do have Damien, he's playing Fiethsing. So this will be a Fiethsing against Pricia matchup. Now Fiethsing is one of those flexible decks out there at the moment in time, just for the fact that it can generate so much resource in the early game because of the token generator, and not only that, you can able to drop early Guibas, early Drake and early Titanius, which can apply a lot of pressure in the early game because they do have flying, so meaning unless your opponent has a flying Resonator or Jail on the battlefield, there's no way to stop those Guibas or those flying Resonator to do a lot of damage because they are a minimum of 12-12. While on the left side we do have Johnathan is playing Pricia, one of those most popular decks out there at the moment due to the fact that it does have the potential to randomly OTK on your second turn, just because that is so aggressive with that lave. Not only that, it has the Goddark effect which can recover and attack twice again, so it is very powerful, very scary, can easily one shot from anyone. But however, in order to survive this, you pretty much need some kind of flying Resonator on the battlefield or J-Roll, which does Fiethsing have, so you can be easily blocked by Divine Bird, even Drakes, Titanius and Guiba as well. So let's see how this matchup goes out for Johnathan. So let's get back to the game itself. Currently life point wise 4,000 compared to 4,000. Not much has changed in the battlefield. We do see the lightning strike to kill off the first turn Guinevere, so not allowing Damien to get the draw power off, because again, for those who don't know, Fiethsing does rely on a lot of draw power, getting key pieces to your hand like Guibas, Drakes, not Drakes but mostly Rook Eggs or even Titanius in hand to apply the pressure and combo off with Adam Rowley that can generate a lot of resource, draw power and so on. We do see that Johnathan's going very aggressive at the moment, J activating, sacrificing the Sacred Elf, but I think he didn't notice that the Death Sight was in play already, so a minor misplay already for Johnathan. So not looking too good, but however, just a minor misplay, but he didn't do anything too much. But if it wasn't for that Death Sight on the battlefield, this game would have been over so quick and so fast, and this might be one of the shortest game one if it did happen. So thanks to Death Sight, Damien can buy himself a one turn. Hopefully he can come up with a better strategy to deal with that annoying J-Roll, which can gain flying out of nowhere because of her Goddark. Using the Guinevere, sacrificing the Rook Egg to search for another Rook Egg and draw 2 new cards. Hopefully he draws something very useful against that Pricia, because that Pricia is pretty annoying at the moment. Discarding Lunar Lake, obviously Lunar Lake is pretty much irrelevant at this point in time, unless he goes to the mid to late game where Mirabella can be destroyed by Lunar Lake, but not at this point of time. So let's see. Life points are still 4,000 each, so pretty much both players are still setting up. We do have, looks like Damien is going for the power play now, dropping Titanium on the battlefield to gain like flying advantage and so on, so able to block that Pricia with no problem at all. So generate another token. Again, like I said before, Fiethsing can generate a lot of the advantages on the battlefield really easily. In comes the Whirlwind, stopping the Guiba play. Very unfortunate for Damien because that Guiba will be so nice right now, because applying a lot of pressure to Johnathan. But with 1 fly on the battlefield, still not too bad. But again, 2 flies is always better than 1. So let's see. What can Johnathan do now? He's dealing with 1 Titania, which is a flying Resonator, can easily block his Goddark attack. So what can he do? Does he have Gale Force? If he does have Gale Force, that will be amazing. So currently on the field wise, we do have 1 Lave, 1 Death Sight, 1 Pricia, 1 Sacred Elf, compared to 3 tokens, 1 Titania, 1 Rook Egg, and 1 Guinevere and 1 Death Sight. So we do see the field advantage does go to Damien, but however, can he maintain that advantage? Because even you have a strong field and so on, if your life point goes to 0 right away from Pricia, that advantage means nothing to Johnathan at the moment. So even though Johnathan did a minor misplay in the early game, but let's see can he make up for it. Let's see now, Johnathan does have 3 cards in hand to play with. Does those free cards help him, because he is playing the 1 stone and 1 second health game, so meaning he doesn't have a lot of resource to play. so meaning all his Marabella in his hand are dead. His Jack, if he plays any at all, his Giant will be the worst scenario having hand. So let's see. Tapping 2 of his Regalia, pumping his damage and defense onto the Pricia. So currently sitting on 14-12. So it seems that either Johnathan has the Gale Force in hand to remove that Titania away, because there's no way you will actually go very aggressive at this point in time when your opponent has a Death Sight and a Flying Resonator, or he is the Mind Master of bluffing the fact that he might have Gale Force, intimidating his opponent to say that if you bluff, you're gonna lose your Titania and you're gonna take a lot of damage to the face. Attacking directly for 14, getting another Magic Stone now on the battlefield, so which enable his Guard Arc at this point of time. So he's gonna produce red and 1 green. So he's gonna Guard Arc at this point of time. But it depends that he uses the Lave. If he does use the Lave, it does mean that he has a strong indication that he does have Gale Force in hand, or he is very risky player. He can taking the risk that saying that I'm gonna bluff that I do have Gale Force in hand. So he is using Guard Arc, and let's see, does Damien take it, because again he does have a Flying Resonator on the battlefield, can easily block that J Ruler, but he decided to take it and put him down to 24 life points compared to Johnathan 4,000. So maybe he is intimidated the fact that he might have Gale Force in hand, attacking directly again for 16 attack. So let's see, does he declare the block? Damien is still deciding whether to take the damage or block, because if he does block, he will have a lot more life point, but he will lose the strong field advantage he has. So he does take it, put him down to 800 life points, but he still have the Titanium play and so on. But never mind about Titania, it does get Gale Force, meaning that no power play for Damien, and dropping the Guinevere by Johnathan to draw more cards later on in the game. So we do have 1 card in hand for Johnathan. Field wise, 1 Lave, 1 Death Sight. I think that's Death Sight. Yeah, that's Death Sight. 1 Pricia, 1 Guinevere, compared to 1 Guinevere, 3 tokens, 1 Death Sight as well. Sacrifice the Rook Egg to search for another Rook Egg. Interesting. I thought he would search for the Keeper of the Goddess so he can get rid of that J Ruler at this point in time. But I guess he doesn't need it at this point in time, because again, Pricia doesn't gain passive flying, so he doesn't need to worry about the passive or doesn't have to worry about getting damaged by the J Roll, because again, there's no way you can there's no way that Damien cannot block it unless Johnathan draws a removal spell to get rid of the blocker during the blocking phase. Paying 3, dropping the Goddess in play like expected. He's going to kill the Pricia, depending what's removing the Guiba and the Titania, I believe. No, Lunar Lake. So doing 16 damage, no more than this, 20 damage onto the Pricia, KOing the Pricia away, and dropping the Hydromonica. Interesting tech choice. Hydromonica does allow him to tutor for a lot of cards in his main board to put on top of his deck, and then dropping the Guiba in play, so allowing to apply that pressure right now. So let's see, can Johnathan get out of this situation, because even though he did the early game damage, it doesn't look too good when it comes to field advantage at the moment. Looking up against 4 tokens, 1 Gwen, 1 Goddesses, and 1 Guiba. Tapping for another Magic Stone. Using the Memoria, burning 500 directly, and he does have double Memoria, so it burns for game. So yeah, that's the game, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please stay tuned for game 2. Alright, welcome back to game 2, guys. With game 1 in the bag for Johnathan, he doesn't have to worry as much in game 2, but however, it will be less stressful for him at the moment. But then again, that's a different story for Damien. Damien has to pressure the game to his favor in order to enable the game 3, because if he loses game 2 right now, he is out of the tournament at this point in time, or not tournament, out of this match, should I say. So he really needs to find some way to pressure Johnathan, so he has to change his strategy up at the moment. So let's see now. Life point was 4,000 compared to 4,000. We did see that Damien dropping that 1-drop addition. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Is the, I believe, Elf House, I believe. Again, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but what it does that it allows all your resonators to gain the ability to block flying / J rulers on the battlefield, or J / resonant on the battlefield. So, which is great against a Pricia deck because Pricia can't really handle against that many blockers. Now we did see Johnathan opening the 3-card combo, which is the Sacred Elf and the 2 Regalias and 1 Lave, so which is exactly 2,000. But however, Damien does have Divine Bird on the battlefield, which is a flying resonant on the battlefield to enable a blocking attack. Now this all depends if Johnathan has Gale Force in hand. If he does have Gale Force in hand, that will be the game. So let's see. He's thinking about whether to tap his tap his ruler to produce another magic stone, or should he go for the aggressive play? Because as you can see, Damien does not have a depth sight on the battlefield, so Johnathan is free to do that powerful play. But again, as I mentioned before, that a Divine Belt being on the field is quite annoying, so you can't go for the OTK play. So let's see, giving Swim some flying to Guinevere. I don't think it's relevant too much, but it does allow him to sacrifice a right of way to draw 2 new cards if necessary. So let's see. Looks like it's being mistriggering for Damien, so he forgot to get the token. Obviously nothing happens, like there's no game changing, so the token does come to play. Just a turn delay. Obviously there's no judge call because again it's just a mistrigger. There's nothing that relevant to cause a cause the game to change in the disadvantage or advantage. Typing for another magic stone, getting another rules memoria. So he does have 2 rules memoria in place, so he can get that power play out, like dropping Wyvers, Drakes, and so on. So let's see. What can Damien do now? He does have a lot of resin on the battlefield, but can he survive like the mid game against Johnathan? Because Johnathan does pack Marabella. Marabella allows him to gain a lot of advantages with those blast counters to shoot off his opponent's field. Oh, did he play Adam Broly? No, he's actually using the Lave effect to sacrifice all the tokens. I'm not sure about this play, but it does indicate that he wants to put a Drake on the battlefield. That's from my point of view. If he does drop the Drake, that will put a very obvious indication to the point that obviously to the point that Johnathan is expecting a Drake, and it depends if Johnathan has a Whirlwind or Gale Force in hand to get rid of the Drake and so on. So it looks like he's gonna do it, sacrificing the 2 tokens. If I was Damien, I would attack with those tokens first to do some minor damage. Obviously it doesn't matter too much, it's 100 each, but again, each damage counts, each attack points towards Jonathan's life points is getting closer for him to win. So you could, again, if your opponent decide to block, then it did this job anyway. So if I was Damien, I would attack with the token first at least. And if it doesn't block, obviously you can use the Lave to sack it off later on. Yep, using Tama, sacrificing it to burn 200 to a Guinevere. So he's trying to meet the requirement for Drake. Okay, yep. Cause he did lose the Rugeg, he did lose the Tama, he did lose 2 tokens, and dropping a Wyber right away as well. Very strong field, a Drake, Wyber, and Divine Bird, free flying resonator against Johnathan. So now he has to draw 3 Gale Force to get rid of that nasty ass field. Not only that, oh. Looks like in responding to the Wyber play, he's going to sacrifice Guinevere to draw 2 new cards, hopefully for a Whirlwind or even a Gale Force. And yeah. But yeah, just some minor misplay played by Damien. He should attack with the tokens first because again, if Johnathan decides to block them, then that Tama would instantly KO 1 Resonant on the battlefield because, wait, no, would KO, no, not KO, sorry. Yeah, just a minor misplay. So let's see that. He wouldn't kill like everything on the field, but again, some minor damage would help as well. Because that will put Johnathan down to 3,800 life points instead of 4,000. Let's see what can Damien do now. Damien does have a strong field, but again, what can Johnathan do? He does have free resource to play with, but it depends. this is still before recover phase, I believe. Paying 1, paying 2. What is it gonna do? Rapid shot. That's an interesting tech. Rapid shot is pretty much depending on your magic stone lineup. So if you have 2 magic stone, so pretty much you have 2 magic stone. You have 5 magic stone and a wind magic stone. Depending how many you have in total, it will accumulate in the long run. For example, you can target up to 2 resonators and so on. Depending on how many wind magic stone, and obviously it does 200 damage for each target, I believe, or each single target by multiplied by 200 depending on the 5 magic stone. So we do have Johnathan do have 2 5 magic stone and 2 wind stones, so that's a total of by splitting it he can able to do 200 each if we split it, but if he does it all in single target he can do 400 each. I think that's how it works. I think. Again, I haven't read the card myself, so I'm not too sure. So I'm just looking at the footage, so I'm going by what is it at the moment. If you guys know what it does, correct me if I'm wrong. So by looks of it, it is mentioning that it's doing 800 damage. That's a lot of damage. So okay, 800 damage, so it's 400 left. So let's see. Playing the Memoria, burning 400 directly to Wyber, which is more than enough to get rid of it, and producing 1 red wheel as well, because for those that don't know, the Memoria spell allows you to choose 2 modes. So you can burn 500 to face, or you can burn 400 to resonate. If you do burn 400 to resonate, produce 1 red wheel. So again, just a free card to play with. Tapping his elf to J activate, again with no Death Sight in play. There's nothing stopping Johnathan from going off at the moment beside the Drake and the Divine Bird Beast. Spinning a stone, getting another Memoria stone, so it allows him to draw more cards and so on, giving him that strong hand advantage that he really needs. So let's see what can Johnathan do now. He does have a strong battlefield at the moment, but it depends what can Damien do. Damien does have 2 flying resonators, so he can nullify the whole entire attack if necessary. Spinning another stone back to the bottom and drawing another card, which is always nice, getting those extra hand advantage. So let's see. So he's debating whether to guard up now or not, because I believe he has a floating wheel at the moment. So he's using the guard at this point in time, I think. Yep. And now in comes the declare block. Is it Gale Force? Oh no, Lightning Strike, killing off the Divine Bird, which does allow Damien to draw a card, but in the process he is going to take a lot of damage. 18 damage now because Johnathan is responding with the pumping ability. So now, wait, he's still debating whether to sacrifice the Sacred Elf to make it 2,000 at the moment. By the looks of it, he is thinking about it. I don't think it's necessary to do 2,000 damage because the next attack will be blocked by Drake, so save those resources for later on in the game if necessary. So that's what I will do, but it depends on Johnathan. So yep, he's gonna do the 18 damage instead of 20 damage, which does put Damien down to 22 life points compared to Jonathan's 4,000. 2,200. Sorry, not 22 life points. That would be way too low. Blocking with the Drake, getting rid of the Drake. Field presence not looking too good at the moment. Johnathan applied way too much pressure at this point in time, cause he did destroy his opponent's field really fast, like on his turn and so on. So let's see. Playing 1 to play Rook Egg. Playing another 1 to play Guinevere. He does generate a token, but I'm surprised he used the Rules Memoria first instead of his other 2 stones. Unless he necessary... Nah, I will still use the other stones first before Rules Memoria, just in case. Looks like... let's see now. Well, we do know that Damien has a lot of blockers in the end because Pricia doesn't really have passive flying at all. This kind of Lave and Lightning Striking the Guinevere. Okay, that's an interesting choice because if I was Johnathan, you would have got game this turn at this point in time, because think of it this way, you already have Pricia sitting on 10, you tap your 2 Regalias on the field, that's pushing it to 14, drop the other Lave to push it for 16, sacrifice the 2 Resonators and so on. Wait, is that how it works? I think that's how it works, wait. Am I miscounting? Lave, 16, 20. I think... No, he has it. No. Well, he did draw the Death Sight, so... I don't know, guys. I don't know, to be honest. If I was him, I would have kept the Lave and the Lightning Strike in hand to get rid of a blocker, declaring attacking, that is. But then again, we wouldn't know if Johnathan drew into a Death Sight at all. So, Death Sight, so that's 16 pumps. At the moment, attacking directly for 10. Blocking with the Rook Egg. Interesting. Yep, blocking with the Rook Egg. So now, I'm pretty sure he's gonna search for a Goddesses or Keeper of the Goddess. Yes, he is gonna search for it to get rid of that pesky Pricia on the battlefield. So would have Johnathan won last turn? Wait, dropping 2 more Regalias? Yeah, he would have won last turn. He didn't necessarily need to use the Lightning Strike onto the Guinevere on the end phase. But then again, he wouldn't know if he drew into the 2 Regalias. So let's see. 22 life points, or 2,200 life points compared to 4,000 life points. Playing Goddesses going to kill off the Pricia. So, yep. Wait, what? They're scooping it up. Well, I don't understand why they need to scoop it up. Oh, he misplayed the Death Sight. Oh, okay. He played the Death Sight. There will be no impressionable being gaining and so on. But yeah, that's the minor misplay. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace.